Imagine this. Turquoise waves, warm breezes, maybe your own stunning villa overlooking the sea in, say, Phuket, that dream location.
It's a very appealing image, definitely.
It really is. But that dream of owning a piece of paradise in Thailand, well, for foreigners like you listening, it can bump up against some, let's say, complex property rules.
Complex is a good word for it.
So today we're doing a deep dive right into that landscape. How do you navigate buying property in Thailand if you're not a Thai national? How do you make that dream secure?
And the good news is, our sources today, they don't just give you a list of rules. They actually offer a pretty clear pathway through it all.
Yeah, we want to help you understand the what and the why and, how to navigate it confidently.
That's accurate.
Our main guide here is a really insightful article, Thai Property for Foreigners, Know Your Rights.
Okay.
And what's great is it's from Ocean Worldwide. They're a luxury real estate agency, actually based right there in Phuket. Been there since 2004.
Oh, so they have boots on the ground experience.
Absolutely. Their director, Sandra O'Neill, she's apparently helped thousands of families, investors, over the years. And they really specialize, focusing on that high-end residential market in Phuket and Koh Samui too.
So real practical insights, not just theory.
That's the idea. Our mission today: unpack the key rules, look at the common legal structures, the things you absolutely need to consider to approach the Thai property market with confidence. We're aiming to unlock those pathways to making that Phuket villa dream a reality.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's unpack that first fundamental rule, the big one that often catches people out. Foreigners generally cannot directly own land in Thailand.
That's right. It's the starting point for everything else. And it's not just a guideline. It's embedded in Thai property law, specifically the Land Code Act.
Why is that, though?
Well, it fundamentally comes down to national interest, preserving land for Thai citizens, maintaining control over a finite resource. And, trying to get around this, it's serious. We're talking potential fines, even jail time. It's not something to be clever about.
Definitely not.
And you need to know there are a few key laws in play. You've got the Civil Code that covers general contracts like leases, mortgages, basic property rights.
Okay.
Then the Land Code Act, which, as we said, has the rules on land ownership, including those crucial foreigner restrictions.
Right.
And if you're looking at an apartment, there's the Condominium Act. Very specific rules there for foreigners. It's a bit of a legal maze.
And who oversees all this?
That would be the Department of Lands. Think of them as the central registry. Every single property transaction, sales, leases, transfers it has to be registered there to be legally valid.
So if it's not registered?
It doesn't count legally. It might be a private agreement, but it's not officially recognized or protected under the law.
Which leads to a really crucial point, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You need qualified Thai lawyers.
Yeah.
Right from the very beginning. They're essential for navigating this. It's not just about checking boxes. It's about protecting your investment, making sure everything is, completely above board.
Don't try this at home, basically.
Exactly. Trying to do it yourself often leads to very expensive problems later.
Okay, so if you can't directly own land, how do foreigners secure property? This is where it gets really interesting, because there are legitimate ways, sensible structures.
Yes, there are established pathways.
Let's start with the most common one, right? Long-term leasehold agreements.
Yeah, this is probably the most widely used method for houses and villas on land.
How does that work exactly?
Typically, you get a lease for 30 years. That initial 30-year term is the legally guaranteed part.
Okay, 30 years.
Often, these leases include options to renew for 2 more 30-year terms. So potentially, you're looking at up to 90 years.
Potentially 90 years, but you said potentially.
Right. Crucially, only that first 30 years is rock solid and guaranteed by law upon registration. The renewals depend entirely on what's written in the original lease agreement and the landowner agreeing when the time comes. It's not automatic.
So you need those renewal clauses clearly spelled out.
Absolutely meticulously spelled out. And registered. Any lease over 3 years must be registered with the land department. That's what gives it its legal teeth and protects your rights, even if the land is sold later on.
Without registration.
It's just a private contract, much weaker legally. Registration is key for long-term security.
Okay, that makes sense. So leasehold is option 1. What's another common route, maybe for investments?
Setting up a Thai limited liability company, this is another viable structure, especially if you're looking at rental income or maybe some development.
But wait, if foreigners can't own land, how does a company help?
The company owns the land because it's a Thai legal entity, but Here's the catch.
There's always a catch, isn't there?
Well, a requirement.
Okay.
At least 51% of the company shares must be held by Thai nationals.
51%.
Yeah.
Majority Thai owned.
Correct. And these have to be genuine shareholders. Using nominees, just names on paper with no real stake, is illegal. Big trouble if you're caught. Serious penalties.
So if Thais own 51%, how does the foreigner keep control?
Usually the foreigner appoints themselves as the managing director. The MD typically has the power to manage the company, make decisions about the property, often structured through specific voting rights in the company articles.
I see. So you control the operations, even without majority shares.
Exactly. But it's important the company needs a legitimate business purpose. It can't just be a shell to hold property. It should be genuinely involved in, say, property management, rentals, development, something active. Otherwise, it can raise red flags.
Okay, legitimate business purpose. Got it. What about people married to a Thai citizen? Is that simpler?
It's another option, yes. The Thai spouse can own the land in their name.
Straightforward enough.
But the foreign spouse has to sign a declaration, basically stating the money used was the Thai spouse's separate property and the foreigner waives any claim to it. This is to ensure it's not seen as, indirect foreign ownership.
Right, proving it's genuinely the Thai spouse's asset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for extra security, some foreign spouses then choose to formally lease the land back from their Thai spouse.
Ah, like the leasehold structure we discussed.
Sort of, yeah. It creates a clear, registered right for the foreign spouse to use the property, adding another layer of legal clarity for them.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Condominiums. You mentioned a specific act for those. Is buying a condo easier?
Generally speaking, yes. For direct ownership in your own name, condos are often the most straightforward path for foreigners.
Why is that?
Because the Condominium Act explicitly allows it under certain conditions. The main rule is the foreign ownership quota.
Quota.
Yeah. Foreign individuals or foreign companies can collectively own up to 49% of the total sellable floor space in any single condominium project.
So just under half. The other 51% must be Thai-owned.
Correct. So before you buy, you always need to check if that 49% foreign quota in that specific building is already full.
Makes sense. And what's the other key condition?
This one's crucial. You must prove the money used to buy the condo came from outside Thailand, transferred into Thailand in foreign currency.
Why that specific rule?
It ensures that foreign condo ownership represents genuine foreign investment flowing into the country, not just shuffling local money around to bypass land laws.
How do you prove that?
Typically, with something called a foreign exchange transaction form, an FTF, sometimes called a TOR-SAM, you get this from the Thai bank when you exchange the foreign currency into Thai baht.
FETF form.
Yes. It needs to clearly state your name, the amount, the currency, and the purpose buying that specific condo unit. This document is absolutely essential for the land department. Without it, they won't register the ownership in your name.
Wow. Okay, so that FETF is non-negotiable for condos.
Absolutely non-negotiable. It's the key piece of evidence.
Now, there was something else you mentioned earlier, this idea that the building is separate from the land in Thai law. That sounds unusual.
It is quite unique, yeah, but very important. It's called separate ownership of buildings. Think of it like this. You might lease a plot of land, but you can build your own house on it. In Thailand, you can legally own that physical house, the structure itself, completely separately from the land title.
Even if you only lease the land under your...
Exactly. So if you have a 30-year land lease, you can still have outright ownership of the villa built on that land registered in your name.
How did that work in practice? How do you register ownership of just the building?
Well, you'll have the building permits in your name, and you can also get what's called a house registration certificate, or tabian bain.
Tabian bain.
Right. Now, this isn't a land title deed. It's more like the official address registration and confirms who legally resides there. But for a foreigner owning a house on leased land, having this tabian bain issued in your name is strong evidence of your ownership of the physical structure.
So you own the bricks and mortar, even if not the soil.
Precisely. But, and this is critical, you still absolutely must register that underlying land lease at the land office. That registration is what protects your right to keep the building on that land for the duration of the lease.
So building ownership doc plus registered land lease, both vital.
Both are vital pieces of the puzzle for owning a house on leased land. Yes.
Okay. Beyond these main roads, are there any sort of less common situations, like inheritance, That sounds complicated.
It can be, yeah. Inheritance is complex. A foreigner can technically inherit land, maybe as a legal heir, but they usually need specific permission from the Minister of Interior. It often depends on treaties between Thailand and their home country. Under Section 93 of the Land Code Act, it's not automatic.
So it's maybe requiring government approval.
Pretty much. And there's a specific rule for a foreign spouse inheriting land from their PIA partner.
Oh.
Even if they inherit it, they can't keep it registered in their name indefinitely. The law says they must sell that land within 1 year of acquiring it.
1 year. That's a tight deadline.
It is. You need to act quickly or the authorities can force a sale. So planning ahead is really important there.
Definitely. And what about this investment-based ownership? You mentioned it was rare.
Extremely rare for typical buyers. It involves a very substantial investment, at least 40 million baht.
40 million. Wow.
Yeah. And it has to be invested in specific ways that benefit the Thai economy, like government bonds or certain approved funds.
So not just buying a nice house.
No, it's a significant capital investment into the country's economy. And even then, there are limits. You can only own up to one ray of land that's about 1,600 square meters and only for residential use.
1 ray max.
And again, you need formal approval from the Minister of Interior, which isn't guaranteed. Plus, these rights usually only last for your lifetime. They generally can't be transferred or inherited.
So very restrictive. Not really a practical path for most people.
Not at all. The leasehold or company structures or condos are far more common and practical for the vast majority of foreign buyers.
Okay, this brings us back to a point you made earlier, which seems like the golden rule through all of this. Get proper legal advice.
Absolutely. I can't stress that enough. Qualified Thai lawyers are indispensable.
What exactly do they do for you?
Everything from due diligence, checking the land title is clean, no hidden debts or strange claims on it, to reviewing every single contract, your purchase agreement, your lease agreement, company setup documents. If you go that route, they ensure it's all legally sound and, crucially, protects your interests.
It's an investment in security, really.
It absolutely is. It prevents potentially disastrous mistakes. They make sure everything is compliant with Thai law.
And what about the costs involved in a transaction, beyond just the property price?
Right. You need to budget for transaction costs. There are several standard fees and taxes.
Okay, like what?
Well, there's a transfer fee, typically 2% of the property's registered value. Usually the buyer pays this on all transfers.
2% transfer fee. Got it.
Then, for the seller, there might be specific business tax, or SBT. That's 3.3%. It applies if they sell within 5 years of buying, or if the seller is a company.
Okay, SBT for sellers in certain cases.
If SBT doesn't apply, then the seller pays stamp duty instead, which is 0.5%. You pay one or the other, never both.
SBT or stamp duty.
Right. There's also withholding tax. If the seller is a company, it's 1%. If the seller is an individual, it's calculated on a progressive scale. Bit more complex.
Okay.
And specifically for leases, when you register that long-term lease, there's a 1% registration fee based on the total lease value plus 0.1% stamp duty. These are paid at the land office on registration day.
So quite a few potential extra costs to factor in.
Definitely. Your lawyer can help you calculate exactly what will apply to your specific transaction.
So let's try and summarize this. What does it all mean for you, listening, maybe dreaming of that villa in Phuket?
Well, the bottom line is direct land ownership in your own name. Generally, no.
But there are clear legal ways forward.
Absolutely. Long-term leases, setting up a legitimate Thai company, or buying a condominium within the foreign quota rules. These are all established, secure paths.
And remembering that key distinction,
Yeah.
you can own the building itself separately from the land it stands on.
Exactly. That's a unique aspect of Thai law that works in your favor if you're leasing land.
So the Thai property market, while it has its definite complexities,
It is accessible if you understand the rules, respect the law, and crucially, get the right legal help from the start.
full compliance protects your investment and gives you peace of mind, right?
That's the core message. Do it right, follow the procedures, use qualified professionals, and you can securely enjoy your property in Thailand.
So here's a final thought for you to mull over. Given this unique legal split between land and building ownership in Thailand, and thinking about agencies like Ocean Worldwide focusing on luxury spots like Phuket, does this legal framework maybe open up different ways to think about property investment or development there? Could it encourage some innovative concepts for how you might structure owning that dream villa in such a desirable location? Something to consider as you explore your options.